The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this or any broadcast belong solely to our guests or our hosts. These broadcasts do not represent or reflect the views of their employers, sponsors, or affiliated organizations.
Welcome to the Flipboard EDU podcast with your host, William Jeffrey, where we collaborate, communicate, and educate with the greatest educators in the world on Flipboard. Let's start the show.
Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey. And on March 2nd, 2021, Texas Governor Gregory Abbott, along with Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, decided to waive the mask requirements for their respective states. Face masks have become our new normal in the COVID-19 pandemic, since they were quickly required to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Moreover, public health experts say that masks are key in ensuring schools are safe for students and staff. This plan was shared with all stakeholders simultaneously as a newscast, without mention of a strategy for the safe return of students, teachers, or guidance for transportation, extracurricular competitions, and special events such as proms, graduations, that all happen in the spring. So in this episode, I share the mic with fellow educators to explore the pros and cons of this type of decision making from an educational standpoint. We cover the impact of the decision on students and teachers, and talk about the push to fully open up as the fourth largest city in the United States grapples with 4 virulent strains of the coronavirus. So like we always do about this time, let's collaborate, communicate, and educate with the best educators in the world right here on Flipboard EDU Podcast. Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey, and I am here to talk to you today about something that is probably coming your way. Our governor has decided to lift the mask mandate and opens the great state of Texas at 100%. This happened on March 2nd, 2021. Our governor decided that it was time for him to do that. There are some questions about how and why he did it. Specifically, there was a very large freeze where our power structure was not up to code and it couldn't handle the winter weather. So a lot of people lost power. A lot of people had damage to their houses because they couldn't keep it heated during this particular cold snap. And a lot of people were blaming the power infrastructure, not to have a political thing, but it appears that by some people that this mandate being lifted is a political issue from the way that he went about releasing it. A lot of people were upset because they felt like he didn't use much data. But I also have here his press release, and we're going to play the press release right after I get through talking. And just want to get some ideas from educators. How do you feel about the mask mandate being lifted here in the state of Texas? And then what does that look like in education? Like, how are we supposed to deal with this, as a lot of educators, especially from what I can tell, were waiting on guidance on this. And it seems like he's just going to make sure the state is open, and then school boards and the Texas Education Agency is going to figure it out from there. We have some issues that are up in the air, like prom, getting kids back to school, graduations, all of those things, because the coronavirus is obviously still in effect, but the governor did state that he wanted to get things back to normal. I have mixed feelings on it because I can see good and I can see bad. But instead of getting my opinion all the time, I did ask other educators to fill in. So after the press release, you will hear what other educators have to say about the reopening.
Governor Greg Abbott today issued an executive order, GA 34, lifting the mask mandate in Texas and increasing capacity of all businesses and facilities in the state to 100%. The governor made the announcement at Montelongo's Mexican restaurant in Lubbock in an address to the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. With the medical advancements of vaccines and antibody therapeutic drugs, Texas now has the tools to protect Texans from the virus, said Governor Abbott. We must now do more to restore livelihoods and normalcy for Texans by opening Texas 100%. Make no mistake, COVID-19 has not disappeared, but it is clear from the recoveries, vaccinations, reduced hospitalizations, and safe practices that Texans are using that state mandates are no longer needed. Today's announcement does not abandon safe practices that Texans have mastered over the past year. Instead, it is a reminder that each person has a role to play in their own personal safety and the safety of others. With this executive order, we are ensuring that all businesses and families in Texas have the freedom to determine their own destiny. During his remarks, the governor discussed the incredible advancements that Texas has made that allow the state to open fully and lift the mask mandate, noting the rapid increase of vaccines. Nearly 5.7 million vaccine shots have been administered to Texans, and the state is now administering almost 1 million shots each week. By next Wednesday, about 7 million shots will have been administered in Texas, and over half of seniors in Texas will have received a vaccine shot. By the end of March, every senior who wants a vaccine should be able to get one. The vaccine supply continues to increase so rapidly that more and more Texans will soon be eligible to receive a vaccine. The governor noted that Texas has a surplus of personal protective equipment and can perform over 100,000 COVID-19 tests a day. The state has invested in a variety of antibody therapeutic drugs that have kept thousands of Texans out of hospitals. Texans have also adopted daily habits that reduce the risk of COVID-19 exposure and infection. More than 2.5 million Texans who were lab confirmed for COVID-19 have recovered since the beginning of the pandemic, and experts note the total number of Texans who have recovered from COVID-19 is likely 4 or 5 times that amount. The number of active COVID-19 cases is the lowest since November, meaning more Texans are recovering from COVID-19 than contracting it. This executive order rescinds most of the governor's earlier executive orders related to COVID-19. Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type may open to 100% capacity. Additionally, this order ends the statewide mask mandate in Texas. Businesses may still limit capacity or implement additional safety protocols at their own discretion. If COVID-19 hospitalizations in any of the 22 hospital regions in Texas get above 15% of the hospital bed capacity in that region for 7 straight days, a county judge in that region may use COVID-19 mitigation strategies. However, county judges may not impose jail time for not following COVID-19 orders, nor may any penalties be imposed for failing to wear a face mask. If restrictions are imposed at a county level, those restrictions may not include reducing capacity to less than 50% for any type of entity.
The way I feel about the mask order being lifted, I am definitely one of the ones that would like to see the mask stay. Kind of like to wait and see that more people have received their second shot before the mask gets lifted. Also, I think that if we lift it a little too early, it could affect education. These students have not had the shots yet, so I'm not quite sure how fast it could spread, and then we'd all end up back at home. So that is how I feel.
I just am wishy-washy about it. I mean, I see both sides of the coin on it. I feel that in an educational perspective that the kids are still close together. We want to keep them safe. They're not. They haven't had the shots. So, I mean, are we doing them the justice by, taking the masks away? But in the same sense, I mean, they're not wearing masks when they're outside of here. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword in either way.
How do you feel about the mask order being lifted by Governor Abbott?
I am very happy that Governor Abbott went ahead and lifted the mask order. this morning and saw an elderly man crying, saying that he had not been able to see his grandchildren in over a year. And I saw him sitting there with his mask on, and it made me wonder, why, if masks work, has this gentleman not been able to see his family if they were both able to wear masks? I had a 92-year-old grandmother pass away in December. She did not believe in not seeing each other, and she also did not believe in wearing masks around each other. I'm so glad we were able to spend time together without masks on, like our normal relationship, when she ended up having a massive stroke. Anyways, not related to COVID.
You are a parent, correct?
Yes, I'm a parent of 2 high school students.
And how has wearing a mask affected you guys' life since COVID started?
Both of my girls are student athletes, and I feel it has just been nothing but a nuisance for them. I don't feel that wearing them at school does any benefit. When kids leave school and gather together, they don't wear a mask anyway. When they're in sports and they're on the court, sweating on each other, breathing, spitting, all of these things, I don't see a benefit to just sitting down 6 feet apart with a mask on when you don't have to wear one when you're being active. So I definitely feel it has not been a benefit for them, and that's a nuisance this year.
Yes. And we have talked about there are some places that have athletic competitions where they have a different enforcement of the rules, that they're really not enforcing the mask rule. Have you experienced that?
I am at location today actually for a sporting event where the protocols that were sent out were that they were going to be strictly enforcing the mask rule, and I've seen very few people in masks. I feel this has been pretty consistent since August at different sporting events and different school events that I've been to.
Not your current school, but various schools, school districts outside of the one that you currently work at, correct?
That is correct. It's pretty much been, I really haven't gone to a school, maybe early in the fall, that had someone walking around enforcing the mask. But other than that, once you get to your seat, it's pretty much been you can take it off and no one says a word to you. The sporting events that I've been to in the spring, I've seen many people just walking in front of the ticket taker, in front of a school officer with no mask, and it's not been an issue at all.
The pandemic has not gone anywhere, so it is absolutely too soon for Texas to have a lifted mask mandate. We are nowhere near being ready.
I'm leery of the mask order being lifted. It's almost like it's too soon. More people need to be vaccinated. More time needs to pass. And it's really just a simple thing to wear a mask to help protect yourself and others.
I don't feel like it should be lifted. I don't feel like it should be lifted because we're technically still not out of the pandemic. There's still people being sick. Yes, there's a vaccine, but how do we know it works? I don't know. I got asthma, so I want to live.
I feel that lifting the mask at this point is too soon. The vaccine is just now getting around to more and more people, and I feel like we should have waited a few more months to have the majority of more people vaccinated.
Just to add a wrinkle to the story, there are anti-maskers who are encouraging kids to burn their face coverings on the Capitol steps. Let's take a listen.
Hold on a little bit. Fire out. Wait. Dude, deeper right here. Right here. All right, that's enough for right now. Yeah. Destroy them. Destroy them. Dad. Eat them to the fire. You don't want them in our home anymore.
In a video from a scene from the Boise Capitol captured by the Oregon public broadcasting reporter Sergio Olmos, about half a dozen students are seen grabbing handfuls of blue surgical masks and dropping them into the fire as adults are heard warning them not to go too fast. In this video, you can hear a little boy shouting, "Destroy them." Organizers for the Boise rally had a permit, but it is being investigated that the fire was set in a barrel by the Idaho State Police. I'd like to be very clear that the mass burning clip that was previous did not happen in the state of Texas, that it happened on the steps of the Capitol in Idaho. Did not happen in Texas.
I think it's too soon, personally, and I think that the The medical community is not comfortable with it yet, and I think even though I've had both vaccines, I think I'm still going to wear mine no matter what, to protect not only myself but protect others, which is what it's all about anyway.
The question is, how do you feel about the mask order being lifted? It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I believe we probably should use our mask according to how you feel you should use it. It doesn't need to be completely dismissed. There are so many things in factor of this, and we still need to be very cautious of where we're at and how we're going to use our mask.
How do I feel about the mask order being lifted? I feel the decision was made without any real thought to current conditions in each individual vicinity of where people live. Being that the governor made the order, he doesn't know how many people have been vaccinated in the counties around or their access to vaccination. So I think it was made with reckless abandonment.
Flipboard EDU podcast is a great resource for teachers, students, and administrators.
Flipboard fam, thanks for sticking with me on this episode. I want to thank everyone who gave me a voice track. Surely appreciate it. Hey, did you know that you can leave a voice track as well? All you have to do is go to flipedupodcast.com. That's flipedupodcast.com. Click on the red microphone. You leave a message, we'll play your thoughts on the air. So don't be shy. Hey, leave a shout out or congratulations or tell us how you use Flipboard. We'll definitely put you on the air. You can read more about this episode and other great educators on the blog on flipboard.com. Speaking of flipboard.com, I want to give another huge shout out to Aileen Laylor and Crystal Vanderboom for the editorials on the Flip EDU Educators blog. I could not do it without you two. Surely appreciate it. Hey, remember to subscribe to our Flipboard EDU podcast magazine, which is also found on flipboard.com. Please subscribe and share our podcast with an educator or a colleague. Our podcast is available globally and everywhere you listen to podcasts. So until next time, family,